Monday, the 26th of May 2025. Michael Fitzmaurice, Wind and Culture. Michael Fitzmaurice is an independent member of the Irish Parliament, a TD for the Dáil for Roscommon, Galway. I think that's it. And he's very much a farmer's man, very much a rural man, and quiet, ordinary kind of a fella, and that. But I met him a while back ago and I tried to explain to him the problem with the wind farms, and he didn't really run with what I told him, and that's it. But a lot of other people are the same. But now I see he's come out and said that he supports offshore windmills. Now, I don't know where he gets this. This is pure instinct. It's pure intuition. There is no scientific or engineering backing for offshore wind. And indeed, I have on various occasions on planning applications mentioned about wind wake, that if you have a wind turbine here, and another one here, that one cancels out, robs the wind from another. And there's war going on legally in the North Sea in England, in the coast of northern Britain, about one company claiming the other's going to steal its wind. And that's what we have been saying years ago, and that's what any engineer worth the salt would have told the governments if they had carried out the proper strategic environmental assessment on them. If you have a wind turbine here, and you have another one a kilometre at least away, when the wind is blowing this way, this one loses 1/4 of its output. And I'll do more on that, giving you the exact figures. But it's not acknowledged. They think they can put them all together like this. And it doesn't matter. It's the same as trying to grow potatoes in a field. You can't increase the crop by increasing the amount of seed you plant in the field. You understand? Now, that's one thing they don't acknowledge at all, and now they're trying to cry about it, and if they had to assess it, they'd know this from the start. Now, anyone that's facing a wind farm planning application, the planning and development guidelines, which I say are illegal, but they're still acknowledged, page 34 states the distances has to be between the wind turbines, and you can use that to oppose the planning. Anyway, John Edrington, he was a geologist, a British geologist. He wrote in his book, The Wind Farm Scam, there's no difference in offshore or onshore wind. Now, Michael Fitzmaurice makes the point that there's always a breeze around the coast. There isn't any more breeze than anywhere else. It's not much. There isn't a huge wind out there. If there was, shipping couldn't go out and small boats couldn't go out or anything else. There's a bit of a breeze, but it's not what is cooked up to be. Now, when you count getting the current in and the fact that salt builds up and bugs build up on the blades and all, they're no better than onshore wind. But just think of it this way, if you don't believe me, why are there no fossil fuel plants being closed down? If they were to put wind farms, big ones, right from Kerry, right the whole way around Ireland, right up to Scotland, put 60 million big wind turbines around there, could you shut down any fossil fuel plant? And the answer is no, that you need more fossil fuel plant to power them than you get from them. Does that make sense? You cannot replace fossil fuel plant with wind plant. It doesn't work like that at all. And I've explained that. So you would imagine if you put 700 big wind turbines off the coast of Ireland and you have already 4,000 megawatts on shore, plus and more too, you still need the same fossil fuel plant as ever. And our government didn't think that was true, and now they're burning 56 lorry loads of diesel oil a day to keep the lights on in Ireland, after them telling us they were going to reduce it. It's a scam, a huge lie, and a huge scam. But one area where Michael Fitzmaurice has entered into and commented on, which is very, very useful, is the situation regarding Coilte, the state board. They were started up to have forestry. And now the government and the EU has motivated them and financed them to buy land up and to get investment from abroad to buy land and plant it. And so Small farmers, particularly in the northwest of Ireland, in the Midlands, might have a farm there, he might have 80 acres. He might see 10 acres going up, some old man dies or something happens, he'd like to buy it, and he wants to buy it, and he finds that he hasn't a hope of buying it because some crowd like BlackRock Developments or some other big crowd, Vanguard, or some big investment company can buy it. And they get all the subsidies that's available for the likes of the ordinary farmer, but for single farm payments and all of that stuff. They can have all that if they want. So what the result is that the Irish are being put out of the market. Now, Michael Fitzmaurice is spot on in that. He's very well worth listening to on that. And so this is shocking. But the thing is about it, the people of the Northwest voted for Kieran Malooly, who apologised to RTE the day he was elected and explained that he'd fight climate change to the bitter end, more or less. They didn't vote for Herman Kelly of the Freedom Party that would have done differently. And no directive from the European Union can be brought in without 100% agreement from all member states. And that's proven at the moment because the EU is looking to do a directive on the Ukraine and Hungary refuses. And they have the whole thing held up. Now, the people of the Northwest can't help themselves voting Fianna Fáil. Oh, great old Fianna Fáil, man. Fine Gael. Oh, we were always Fine Gael. Oh, and Sinn Féin. And yet, they're conniving to leave them, that they'll be driven out of the land for no advantage to anybody. To anybody. And then, of course, Coilte is putting the windmills on the land, and they're breaking our economy, and they have to be supported, and so is the ESB, and down in Derry Bryan, I don't know who owns the actual land there, but it's a mountaintop, and it's another sham. So anyway, the point is, I'm critical of Michael Fitzmaurice. He's deluded. You're wrong, Michael, about offshore wind. Whether you like it or not, it is not going to do any good. And just think of the fuel that will go into digging up the seabeds and putting this stuff down and eventually taking them out again. It is absolute lunacy. Lunacy. So that's that done. But the other is not lunacy. The fact is, the Irish people in Roscommon, in Cavan, in Donegal, in Mayo, and all those areas, and Leitrim, they can't wait to vote for the parties and vote for the politicians who will go over to Brussels and hand all their little future for their children over to big multi-billion pound corporations. In one case, they're paying the pension funds of a teacher's retirement fund in Canada. So any little wealth that there's in the country is being given away, whatever means there is. Whatever means there is. Now, in fairness to Michael, he sees this. But he has no say because he's only one TD. I don't think he's supporting the government. So he is only one TD and he can't do much. But I point the finger here at the voter. They're going to do it again. Around Cavan here, they'll vote and vote and vote till they're away, till they're driven out. Now they don't want us in Spain or Portugal. The Irish and British are not wanted over there. They don't want them buying houses. So we'll soon not be wanted anywhere. And we'll soon be poverty stricken in our own country. But you can't do anything. They're still, Fianna Fáil. And then they look at you and you see them in the pub. I say, you voted Fianna Fáil. I know, well, you did. Well, it doesn't matter. Like, it does matter. And now you're going to be driven out. Isn't it an awful thing? A young farmer there wanted to buy, maybe he's a sheep farm there, and I'd like that bit of mountain there and all of that, and he can't have it because he's priced out by his own government, putting him out, his own culture department, and they have an unbelievable amount of land. They have more land than they could ever use, and if you want to go anywhere where they're after cutting trees and see the wreckage they leave off a piece of land and the stumps and everything, forestry is not a good environmental solution, particularly all those Sika spruce, which are the highest paying ones. If they planted traditional hardwoods, that might be different, but they don't. They plant the Sika spruce. He also mentions about this thing about flooding land. Imagine in my time, I got grants to drain land here. I remember years ago I had a plot of land about 8 acres and I spent 5,700 draining it and doing it up and removing a few ditches. I didn't take all away, but I did make it into a bigger field. And I got 3/6 of a grant to take out that and improve the land. We weren't in the EU. Well, we weren't much in it anyway. It was Irish law. Lucky enough, I didn't go mad. I didn't take everything out. I only took out a bit. So, and I still have the hedgerows there. And now, then they wouldn't give us the bit of a subsidy if we had any wee bit of wildlife left over or a wee bit of a growing area and we had to take it out, and they started sending me maps. And I made a video saying it wasn't right, and they changed the law, whether it was me or not, I don't know. And now you can have that bit. And now they've changed it again. You can actually get a little subsidy for keeping that wee bit of wilding. That's lovely. But what they're doing now is they're saying I'll have to go back and flood the fields that I have fertile, that are running and producing beef and feeding my cattle. I'll have to flood it and turn it into wetlands. That is lunacy. That is lunacy. Because that's going to kill the small farm as well. It's ridiculous. You can't reverse Ireland to what it was 2,000 years ago. But that's more or less what they're at. We have very little say. But the point is, they ain't going to stop voting for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin. We can't do much about it. You'd finish it off in a week if you put in proper politicians that would say, we're not going to Europe. Why don't the independent TDs ask the government, where are you going? There's 8 TDs supporting the present government, independent. Why don't they turn around and ask the government, what are you going to sign in Brussels today? Oh, we're going to sign a wetting thing, and have it debated in the Dáil. Unelected bureaucrats decide all, no debate at all. No one can explain anything. What are they for? Shouting about climate change is all you get. Comment underneath, folks. It's a bit cold here. I got my jacket wet and I have it drying, so I'll go back to something that's wet here. Anyway, that's the story. I'm not giving out so much about Michael Fitzmaurice. He is a good man on that sort of stuff, but he's wrong. He is wrong about the wind. Wind energy is a full, complete scam and has been proven to be a scam in Germany, where there's 61,000 megawatts, and look at the German economies. Banjaxed, and they're mad looking for fuel and paying 3 times the price they should to the Americans for fuel. A whole total upheaval. The belief that they can do without fuel is all a big nonsense, a huge bit of wishful thinking that has nothing behind it. We'll see you back, folks. Bye.